Hello, so this is the third and last video about building a wheel for SimRacing, or really just a button box for a wheel. I finished the wheel. This is it. If you haven't seen the other ones and you want to watch those, I'll link them in the description of this video, along with a shopping list of stuff that I bought for this, and 3D print files to print the box. What I like about this wheel, and really why I decided to make one rather than buy one, Fanatec makes a lot of really good wheels, and I have a Fanatec base, so that's great, and I do have a few of them. We'll probably buy more of them, but my complaint has been that I got really big hands. They're skinny, but they're big, and some of the wheels are a little narrow for me. I also like them to be a little bit wider because I'm pretty big. So I wanted to try and build the button box that I wanted around a bigger wheel, and I also wanted to get an LCD in it like I have here. Mostly because it's cool, but also I guess it can be functional. So I do like it quite a lot so far. Of course, I'm by no means an impartial party. This is the thing that I made, but still, of course, I get no benefit from it. This is all free for you to download and build your own. Of course, if you're doing it for a Fanatec hub like me, you still have to buy that Podium hub, which is pretty expensive. But altogether, apart from the Fanatec hub, the build ran me $153, slightly over what I wanted to be at $150. In reality, it was quite a lot more for me because I burned through a lot of plastic doing quick prototyping, etc. But you should be able to build one of these for about 150, possibly less if you're wise about your sourcing. The wheel as it stands here, these encoders, they don't work. The rotary encoders, these here, they don't work either. So the reason for that is the control board that I originally bought, it doesn't really work with encoders. I ordered a new one, haven't received it yet. Probably won't put it in anytime soon, simply because I don't really use encoders much on my wheels, even though many of them have them. I do tend to use buttons more. On that note, the buttons that I put on here and are linked, I'm not super happy with them. They're a little like I don't know, spongy, but I mean they work okay. I just prefer something that's a little bit tactile and clicky, so I might swap them out later, but they work well enough. And the encoders that you can see here for the thumbs, what I really like about the placement of these is it's not the best placement for the thumb here, but it's actually a pretty good placement for your to reach them from the rear. So we can show you maybe here. You can actually pretty nicely reach them, but also from the side if you prefer that. But I find they're nice from here. But then again, they do not work as is. Need that new board. I did link to the new board in the description. Also, if you want to try that. I haven't installed one yet, so there's no instructions in my videos on how to do that. Only for the old one, which works pretty well with the rest. The phone in here is an LG phone I got for 20 bucks on Amazon. Works really well. Nice display on it. And since it is a phone, it has a camera. I did make a hole here on the back for the camera. The reason why I want the camera to work is really just because I use Sim Dashboard for the dashboard here, and if you go to the Sim Dashboard website and go to any of the dashes from the community there, you can just use your phone camera to take a picture of the code there, and it'll install on your wheels automatically, which is kind of nice. That way you don't have to flip through the website on the phone here to select it, but you can do that too. You'll see here on the back there's a button. You'll see when I install it. It's a little tricky to get that to work, but this button is basically the the power for the screen, and so now I've turned that off. Pretty happy with the paddle shifters here. Have them at different distances because I figure out how close I want with them. So when I figure that out, I'll move one. That's pretty much it. The last build video is following this. If you like this, you can build your own. Please like the video and maybe subscribe. Thanks. Have a great day. So I put on a Fanatec hub there. You may notice that I also drilled a little bit of a hole there in the frame of the wheel. That is to allow the phone button, power button, to pass through, as the button is on the bottom of the wheel. There I'm just gluing on the fake carbon fibers. Pretty straightforward, just glue it on and cut around the edges. There's nothing really to it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that here. Here you can see the 90-degree USB cables that goes to the phone. I ground off one of those, that's why I'm showing two. Just show how much I ground off so the phone would get better centered. Should have probably ground off a little bit more. It's not like damaging the cable would have been a big deal, since cable came in a pack of 3 and I'm really just using one. So, but anyway, it worked out pretty well. I just grounded off with a Dremel. Looks like I'm planning on starting gluing there. Got the glue gun ready and the phone kind of centered in there. There's going to be a lot of fast forward in this video, or sped up videos and cutting, because who wants to watch glue dry? That's not interesting to anyone. Definitely wasn't interesting while I was doing it, so we're going to skip over that stuff. Yeah, just putting more glue there around. Mostly just putting the glue in there to make sure the phone doesn't rattle in the frame or the button box. A little bit there around the cable and on the top also. That's pretty much all that's needed to keep that in place. It'll be interesting to see how easy it is to get the phone out later. I haven't tried that. Probably, maybe never will. Who knows? Just cleaning up the glue a little bit there, making sure there's nothing on the edge before I put the cover plate on. The one that we put the carbon fiber glue on, carbon fiber wrap on. I guess wrap is what we call it these days. And then just screwing that in place. As you can see, the 2 bottom screws that go into that plate actually go all the way into the hub. Go through into the hub. This wheelbase is or the wheel is a 7/6 hole pattern, which fits the Fanatec hub, and it's pretty standard. Should fit a lot of applications. Should be able to adapt this pretty easily to other applications. The button box also should be able to use it with other wheels with slight modifications, since it's really just attaches with the 7/6 pattern, bolts on there with whatever hub you're bolting it to, and that holds it in place. Anyway, there I'm attaching the cables to the buttons. So these are the Sunwise, something like that, button pattern. They're 2.8mm connectors, and they don't seem to be very good. They're pretty loose. So once I put them in place, I also glued them with hot glue just to make sure they wouldn't go anywhere. Unlike the, I believe it's called Hapa or something like that, 4.8mm connector pattern on the other arcade standard, those hold in place much better, and those are the ones that I have on the paddle shifters. Anyway, that's the control board.
putting that in place there. Also just hot gluing it in place. This is a zero delay arcade control board. Was not able to get it to work with the rotary encoders. Someone did tell me though on the internet, so you can take that with a grain of salt, it may be true, it kind of seems plausible that I would be able to use the encoders potentially if I put diodes in path there. I think that would delay the signal a little bit, so it's the signal is basically too fast for Windows to read it sometimes. So that's a very plausible solution there. I didn't do anything about it because I had already ordered the other board, which hasn't arrived yet, but I'll put it in when I want to start using those encoders. Anyway, I got that short USB cable and the USB cable for the phone, connecting both of them into a little bit of a USB splitter or USB hub. That hub was listed as non-charging, but it works fine for charging this phone. Did not work at all to charge my iPhone, but I'm not putting that in there, so with this phone it charges pretty nicely, so no complaints there. It also pretty snug fit in there, so didn't have to glue it or anything, it's just there. Did have to change the bottom plate a little bit, I had to cut out a little corner there to clear the USB hub. No big deal, just a little bit of a Dremel job. There I'm connecting the arcade switches on the paddle shifters, not gluing them, much better fit, those aren't going anywhere. And I believe next I'm probably going to be attaching the paddle shifters to the back plate. Yep, there we go. What I didn't realize there right away was this isn't the same backplate as I used for fitting earlier, because I did make some changes to it. That hole for the camera and for the power button, the cylinder that comes out there for that, those weren't on the original one, so I did need to clean up the print a little bit with a file there before snapping on the shifters, just like I had to do in the other video, which is good timing there. You can see me crash in iRacing. I was too interested in what's going on the screen on my wheel, and crashed the car. I'm going to be losing a wheel there shortly because it's pretty fudged up at that point. Anyway, let's finish up that filing, get that paddle shifter on. Pretty happy with the paddle shifters. These are magnetic paddle shifters. Also super happy with how well they fit into the back plates. They snap into place. It's a very satisfying snap, and they don't go anywhere. They're super secure in place. I did put a screw though. Guess they're not that secure that they wouldn't potentially move after weeks of use, but I don't know. I did secure them with screws just in case. And there's the other one, putting that in also. Probably should have run the video a little faster in that section, it was pretty boring. Yeah, there's a screw. Putting a screw in to make sure that that paddle shifter doesn't go anywhere. That's pretty much it for that. See what happens next. Video's going pretty fast. Seems like this should have been a golden opportunity to cut some time off, but there you can see on the back plates it's pretty good. You can see the that square cylinder that comes out. That is where the button for the phone goes in. So that's really a channel for that to move in, so it doesn't get so it stays in place really. You'll see that the button itself a little bit later in the video. It's there. It's under the red clippers there, it seems. Of course, that 3D file is also there for you to print. If you're not using the same phone, you may have to change it a little bit. And even if you're using the same phone, You may have to tweak it a little bit with a Dremel, which I did there. The print was pretty good, but I had to tweak it a little bit because it was getting caught on where I had drilled a hole in the wheel. So you'll figure that out if you go this route. Alrighty, back to the wheel, and I think we're gonna put the backplate on now. Yep, that's what we're doing. You can see there on the right top corner, that is the button that goes, the power button for the phone. Gonna be sticking that in that channel that's next to the camera hole above where I'm connecting right now. I'm not going to stick it in right now because there's nothing really that holds it in place other than once the backplate is on, it can't move much at all in any direction. So once it's together, it can't dislodge or anything like that, but there's nothing that actually physically holds it. So I'll put it in there and kind of keep my finger. Oh, didn't put it in quite yet. Realized that I wanted to get the wires. So probably there I'm putting it in kind of last minute so it doesn't fall out. There was a little bit of wiggling around there with the wires because, as you saw, I didn't really clean them up, didn't glue them into any channels or anything like that. Was a bit messy. That also has made the function of using the camera to change the dashboards a little tricky because there's wires in front there also, in front of the camera. It works out pretty well, but it would work much better if I cleaned that up. So at least when I pull it apart to change the control board, I'll be cleaning up the wiring in there, gluing it in place so that it's not gonna be causing problems with the camera. That is pretty much it. I'm just trying to get all of the wires out of my way, and then screwing everything in all the way. It's a quick test there on the paddles, just wanted to make sure they were working before I locked everything up. There we go, a little bit of Loctite. Always a good thing. Make sure that those don't go anywhere after you've screwed them in place, unless you want them to. I really wish I could work that fast. That would be amazing. So there we are, finished wheel. And opening Sim Dashboard. Sim Dashboard is free, but some of the functionality you only get it if you buy the professional version. Like the dashboard I have there, it's community dashboard. You need the professional version to get that one, but it's cheap. If I remember correctly, it's like $10, something like that, and that's for, like, you see those tablets in the bottom left corner. I have under the wheel. They're all on the same license because the license is really just applied to your Google account. So you buy it once for about $12, something like that, and totally worth it. As you can see, it works really well in Assetto Corsa Competizione here. It's well synced with the game. Same in iRacing. Had some problems with it in Automobilista. I think that's probably I need to do some tweaking on the telemetry settings for that game to get that to work properly. Had some problems, as that game does tend to have some problems with setting paddle shifter or Fanatec wheelbases. Just changed it to a custom wheelbase and everything worked fine eventually, but at that point I'd messed up with some of my settings. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a fantastic day.